Welcome to SoaringHammer.com. So I think here I'm doing a video for BanJamin Tectonics, and the second I'm doing the video, I'm going to do a little intro here in Photoshop, explain how the mold should be designed, and then I'm going to add a second portion with the video where I actually use the same technique I'm about to explain. Alright, so what Ben wants to do is he wants to create this this heat shield, also or heat shroud, with the rail system mounted to it, and that's what it looks like. And here it's connected to the upper receiver, and then here's the barrel. And he wants to create this hollow so he can add the barrel to it and actually run a dowel to connect it to the upper receiver. And some of the questions he had was whether or not he wants to mold it with the rails on it, because then he won't have to do the Bondo and smoothing and all that stuff each time he wants to glue them on, because the rail systems are normally molded and cast flat, whereas the shield itself is convex. So what we can do is, if he puts tape around this shroud and then glues the one of the rail systems to it, and then does the Bondo work and sanding to smooth out the edges to make it rounded, to make it concave, to go over to convex, or actually, yes, that's right, okay. Anyway, so and then that will shape it to be arced, to go around the barrel instead of being flat. And then because it's on tape, he can just cut the tape and pull it off, and the Bondo work will already be done and have it shaped. You can mold it with the arc already to it, and then cast them with the bend already on instead of having to do it each time. So then you just glue it and then slap it on each piece. Okay, now we're going to get into doing so my suggestion is do the rail system separate from the actual shroud assembly. So there's your shroud assembly there, and you're going to keep it in an upward manner like this when you're molding it. First thing you want to do is, you see all these arrows right here. These arrows indicate open holes that are completely through the shroud assembly. Okay, you can't have that if you want to mold. If you want to make it to where you can cast it hollow, or mold it period, because your rubber will go inside there. So my suggestion is building another shroud and notching with your cutting device where the holes go. So when you mold it and then you make a cast, they'll already be there. You just got to take a Dremel and then clean those spots out. It's easier to clean out of your cast. Otherwise, you can't actually mold this piece. So they have to be closed in. You either put some tape behind these to close them off before molding, or they should be solid with just the etching around the outside. So that's the first thing that needs to be done. Second thing that needs to be done is, at the base of the shroud assembly, you want to add a piece of cardboard with a hole in the center of it. The diameter of that hole in the center should be you're going to get a dowel, and the dowel should actually be the full length plus about 2 inches of the barrel, and then the diameter of this dowel is what the diameter of that hole should be in that cardboard. So you want to close this end off completely. Then you want to run a dowel from one end to the other. Okay, pretty simple so far, right? You can actually run a rag through the shroud assembly with a light coating of Vaseline or petroleum-based jelly as a release agent, so that way when you pour your rubber inside, it won't actually thoroughly bond. It will still cure, but at least it won't stick to it. It'll be easier to pull apart once you get ready to demold. So run a rag through with some a light coat of petroleum jelly. Then you close this end off down here with this arrow's pointing. Put your cardboard, put the hole through, put your dowel through. That dowel is going to be your support. Once your dowel is run through, you will now fill up this entire shroud assembly on the inside with your Rebound 25 or whatever rubber you're using. I suggest Rebound 25 for elasticity and durability. So you fill it up all the way to the tip. Now you have a piece of dowel sticking out up here, and you have a piece of dowel sticking down at the bottom. Once again, that dowel has now become your brace. And the dowel should also be lightly coated in Vaseline, so that way you can actually pull it out of the rubber when you want to. Okay, on to the next step. After the rubber is filled up on the inside and it's all connected, next you want to you're going to build your box. You're going to mold this in two pieces, a top half right here and a bottom half right here. So take a piece of cardboard or some type of material and build a wall wrapping around your shroud assembly. Okay, approximately in the middle. It doesn't have to be exactly in the middle if you don't want it to be. It could be higher towards the top here. It doesn't really matter. I normally go in the center. So once you build your wall here, and you're going to build your wall going up, and you're going to build a box around this top portion of the shroud assembly. Once that's done, you'll fill this entire section, your entire box, top portion right here, with your rebound 25, allowing it to go slightly past the top. Okay, that's why this line's drawn up here. You want it to go up over the top. So this rebound 25 is now going on this rebound 25 that is going through your shroud assembly. When it cures, they'll bond together. So what you end up with is, imagine making a circle with your index finger and your thumb, and now stick your pointer finger from your other hand up through the center. That's what you're going to create. It's almost like a cartridge with a primer in the center. Alright, so that's for this top half here. Once that cures, you can then remove this wall that split your shroud assembly in half, and now you want to box the other side. So you'll do that. Once you box the other side, then you will fill that portion with rubber as well. On this end, on the opposite end, make sure you use petroleum-based jelly, so that way rubber does not bond to the rubber. Okay, if you put a light coat of Vaseline over your rebound 25 at this end, because you'll now pull that cardboard off, that initial cardboard you used to hold your dowel in place, you don't need it anymore, because the rubber running through the center of your shroud will now hold it in place. Put Vaseline on it. So they end up with a two-part mold, and what's crazy is this part of the mold, the top portion, exterior only goes from here to here. Interior runs the entire length of the heat shield. And then when you connect your two pieces together, your fill port can be pretty much anywhere along this assembly. It'd probably be more than likely along one of your smoother sides, or maybe the top. So what you're going to end up with is, hopefully my next video here that I'm working on getting for you will show you. Here you can see an image. Yeah, here we go. We're ready to go straight into the video. Here you see, this is the hand grip for the M6 Golf, and you see the lower portion of the dragon skin right here, top portion of the dragon skin right here, and then this wooden, or this is a metal dowel actually going through. Okay, and that dowel, it goes all the way through the entire two pieces, and there's a centerpiece in the middle that it runs through, which is the same as the centerpiece that runs through your shroud. Now let's start into more complicated molds. Alright, and that is going to be, and this is explain a little bit more for you. I love this mold, it's nice. See this pipe right here? This pipe right here is the centerpiece. You'll see is hollow on the handle, so you have to keep the rubber in there straight so it don't move side to side, up and down, and create an off shift inside your handle. Okay, so that pipe runs all the way through both molds, both the top and the bottom, and it also runs through. See how that sticks up right there? Tongue. So I call it the tongue. Okay, it runs through this hole and it keeps it aligned up so it's not shifting like this. You have your keys, big key, little key. Okay, not to insult your intelligence, but there you go, big key, little key. So to back it up a little bit here, to back it up for you a little bit here, this portion right here would be the top of your shroud assembly with the rubber from the center, and then the other piece here would be the bottom for your shroud assembly. Okay. There you go, big key, little key. You match up the big key to the little key. You wiggle it around. You jiggle it, okay? You jiggle it because you want to make sure those keys sit really tight. You're going to look inside. You're going to line your holes. You have a dull side, filled side, whatever. You're going to slip it in. Straight down. If it'll go straight down. Somewhere. There we go. Lined up. It's lined up. You hear it click. Notice it hitting the table. Alright, this all the way through. It goes all the way through. If I want to, here's my bottom. Okay. That's how that works. It also helps them keep the molds lined up. Move it around. Press down. Seat them very well. And right here next to the pipe, you have a fill port. No breather port. Okay, so when you fill this one, you will, once it's filled, and you bring it up past the fill point, you have a flash tip. You see this is a bad one here, but it's an example. See that? That's a fill port or a breather port. Okay, which there's fill and breather ones, okay? And they will have plastic in them. You'll break them off or sand them off once you have a project. It's part of the nature. It's how you have to do it. But, so you're going to fill up all the way. Now, while holding it firmly, give it a couple taps on the sides. Okay? Hold it firmly. If you have any leaks, just keep pressing down. If you have any leaks, there might be a little bit of leaks in between. It happens. Alright? But this will help knock all the air bubbles up and out to the center. That's also the point of the overflow too. You bring it up past the normal fill point, so your bubbles rise at the top, they're above. For example, here's where you want to stop. Here's where you will stop. Then any bubbles that come up, they'll rise all the way to the top, up to here. That's off your project. Got it? So your bubbles rise up above the project. That creates this handle. I use a little bit of body filler with these handles. This is a rough cast that came out. You'll have your fill port right here to stick up. Okay, so you get the gist of it there, and that's pretty much how you keep your center hollow. And I'm hoping this video actually works out for you. I know Soaring Hammer will be molding one of your weapons that's going to have a rail system on it. So if I have to, when I do that, I'll do another video to show you how we did ours, so that way on your personal projects you can actually use the same technique. But overall, it's pretty simple. I would still suggest doing the rail system separate from the actual shroud assembly. And remember, if we can do it, so can you.